sharp correction that could generate system-wide stress. Rogers says increasing insolvency filings by smaller firms could be a normalization after years of below-average filings as pandemic support expires.
All right, good morning. Let me know if you can hear me in YouTube land.
Rogers says overall evidence suggests households can continue servicing on debt at higher rates.
Just chirping a lot right now. Anyone hear me out there? Be alert. Be alert. Can someone let me know in YouTube if you can hear me, please? I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you, Madam Shizzle. All right, I'll be back in a minute after these disclaimers.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial suitability prior to trading. Past performance is not an indication of future performance. The software, strategies, chart charts, websites, and any associated websites or digital venues are for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit or losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept sole responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment to both Stops and Trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers harmless without reservation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made with any income below is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally pre-paired with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses on material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may not or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results involved, but which can adversely affect actual trading results.
This trading room and this webinars are not intended to mirror my trades or to give specific trade recommendations. Lots of stuff I share myself based on my personal analysis. The goal of the room is to trade identify specific areas of trading financial themselves with only invested users. Trading is extremely risky if you decide to follow personal trades, you sort your own risk and can potentially lose your entire account and even more. And I was profitable when I had $15 on my trading accounts. The spreadsheet that access to my personal spreadsheet that I use at its own value and APR values and I'm doing prices for my trades. You can see when I add its own prices to master spreadsheets as well as the prices of trades whether you want to go long or short. You have the ability to copy the spreadsheet and enter your own values and use mine to confirm its own prices and integrate them on its own spreadsheet yourself. The spreadsheet is not telling you which direction to trade, as it has extra prices and stop prices for both long and short positions depending on which one person decides to trade.
All right, good morning. Markets continue to chop around here. Had some orders working here in NASDAQ, but they are canceled. All right, so currently I'm long gold. I got smoked earlier trying to be long, and then got another chance. So there was a bunch of activity earlier. We'll go over what I put on. I actually made a mistake on one of the strategies I put on, but there was stuff over here I had to restart. This is a drawing tool that is now available to you guys through the Bookmap Marketplace. Anyway, there's a new version that we're testing, and I gave it out to my room yesterday, and it's not ready, so I had to delete that and bring up the old one because it was not good. It was not drawing zones, and for me, it was showing a bunch of numbers everywhere. So like the values were everywhere. So it's not ready to go yet. But if you have the one from the marketplace, you should be fine. And then when this one's ready to go, the new one has a really good ATR. The ATR is spot on, so hopefully that'll be ready to go. The developer is actually out of town this week, so that's why it's not. He's not responding yet. So anyway, I'll go over my beating earlier. But when you have strategies, you have an edge. You continue to put the trade on. So I took a beating on a couple strategies, and this came down here, and this was an important area for me. Let me bring this back up. This guy was chirping during my disclaimer. So this was one of the trading strategies here, a slug. This was extremely close, so I took it. I also took what else did I take? I believe it was a pick. Yeah, so I took so these are my important areas, right? So what I tell you guys every week, all I talk about is having important areas, and we'll go over my important areas. That's what these trading strategies are, right? So these are my important areas, and then I look for volume events in those areas, aka real-time volume happening. What was that? I think I just forgot to put a stop in. Hold on a second. I gotta get out of this trade here. That's my usual leaving orders in the order book. So I'll go over here this in a second. I gotta trail my stop out of this. So this is the ideal situation when you put a trade on. Again, a real-time event is happening. So this is how I trail my stops. So this is the spreadsheet that I'll show you because I'm going to be using it probably on this webinar because the ATR is not correct on here. But everything you see on here is basically the spreadsheet, and it's an easier way to trade, obviously. But anyway, I got long off of here. We'll go over those strategies, and my stop was here. Well, now there's a new event, and I could trail my stop to here. And this is really shocking that I got to this. This is liquidity. I'm being sarcastic. It's not shocking because that's what these markets do. This is the big money. These are magnets. I really thought I would get to it there, and it got stopped out, like I said, and I got back in different strategies. So anyway, here we are. Now here's a new event. I can trail my stop to that. I don't know if that's the exact price because, again, the ATR may be off here. This is showing at 3.76 ATR, and you can see the ATR is 3.48 there in the middle. So that is not correct. So I got to enter this in this spreadsheet, and I'm going to trail my longs to this event. 2337.7 to 2336.3. So we go over the spreadsheet, and you guys all get access to this as a member of my trade room, or you can get it at my. I'll put this here. I'll put this in right now. We'll go over it a little bit. Hopefully this posts. Yeah, that posts. So we'll go over this document here, but this is. If you can't get in my trade room, you can get this stuff. You can get my spreadsheet and my zones here. You can get the spreadsheet or the zones or both. So anyway, let me plug this zone in. 2337. And hopefully my room took this slug because people were talking about it, and this was a nice, very nice winner. And it continues to be a winner. I'm not out of the trade yet, but so then you got to plug in the top of the zone, the bottom of the zone, right there, and then you plug in your current ATR, which is 3.39. It's a 5-minute Wilder's ATR. So this is telling me the current volatility of the market, of this particular market. Basically telling me the market's rotating about 34 ticks every 5 minutes. So important information. We're adjusting trades and stops and entries and everything else to what's happening real-time volume and the current volatility. So if I were to go long off this event, my stop would be at 2322.4, but I'm already long, so I'm just going to trail my stop. Uh-oh, that's not good. Hold on a second. How do I pull this back off over here? There we go. Whew. That would not have been good. All right, so again, this isn't exactly right. It's about 8 ticks off. So I'm trailing my stop now for this long that I was in from earlier. And again, hopefully my trade room got in on this because they were talking about it. Now I'm trailing it to that. And we'll go over the trading strategies that I put on too. Like I said. All right, let me trail my stops to this. Give me one moment. I got... let's look. So you got some grain activity too. Grains have been very active lately while the rest of these markets have absolutely sucked. So it behooves you to be watching other markets. We'll go over these markets. It's the same patterns across the board. If you know the thresholds, you can trade these exact setups in any futures market that you're looking at. So this is... And then those are all working here. This one too. So I also want to see, so, you know, as the market makes money available to me, I get out to these areas. This is directly out of trading in the zone. Talk about this every single day. So these are the areas that I will piece out of my trade, right? These different areas. So I just got out of, I had 4 micros on, and I got out of one when it came up to here at the bottom of this guy, and I still have the rest on. So this is telling you something as far as, you know, I tried to get in there earlier and then it failed. So these are the trades I took earlier, or when I got back long. We'll go over the ones I lost when we get a chance. But anyway, this came down here. I got a volume event in an important area in the bottom of this market profile composite. I took that, and I took a slug, and I took an Izzy. That's an inflection zone. So these are my 3 important areas, among other ones. So I took an Izzy. Sorry, wrong color. Took that one, a slug, and a pick. Those were the trading strategies all right here. Slug, Izzy, and pick. So I put those longs on, and now I got out of one there. Another area I'll watch. If this market makes it up to this point of control, it's probably another 50 ticks away. I will get out of another one. And then I try to hold on to a portion until we get to the other major lug. We call them Ludwig levels. We'll go over these. Extremely powerful, as you can see here. So anyway, I will try to hold that up. All right, so now off of this new event, there's other strategies I can put on, right? So, well, first of all, we just got another stop run, right? So gold's just running traders ragged today, as usual. It's like they stop everyone out going that way and stop everyone out going that way. But, you know, we took advantage of this last one. So anyway, now I'm doing the same thing with this guy, right? I just trailed my stop to that. Now, she was down here. Now we got a new event. I'm going to trail my stop to that. Let me plug this in real quick. Sorry, this is kind of a pain. This is the whole idea of the drawing tool where I don't have to come in here and enter these zones in by hand every time. But again, it's not, the ATR is not correct right now, so I got to do this by hand. So right now what you got going on, actually I'm going to change this. So this is one of my 6 setups, right? So I look for setups in an important area. This is now this is the newest setup that we're trading. It's called Step Bros, where you get buy stops, which is usually retail trader pukes, which is usually a decent fade, right? There is occurrences where it holds and the big money comes behind it. We call it stop and hold, but usually this is a fade. But you got buy stops, and then right behind it you got buy ice. So that means the big money is buying here as the retail trader is puking. This inherently is a very, very bullish setup. So I don't just jump in along. I still wait for my requirements, but this is very bullish, first and foremost. And actually, I could take we'll go over the trades I can take off these. If this doesn't hold, it's telling you something, and you can expect probably a whopping move the other way. So right now, I'm just going to assume it's going to hold. And I'm going to show you all the trading strategies. It doesn't matter. I'm not assuming anything. I'm just going to, you know, if this holds, it's just confirming this as a very bullish setup for this market. What's going on? I really wish this would have happened earlier when I had all my longs on to start the day. That would have been splendid, but that did not. All right, so I'm combining these 2 zones, 2342.4 to 2339.5. I don't think there's been anything in equities. I'll head over there in a second. 2339.5. And the ATR is 3.59 now. Very important. So now my stop is at 54. Right? So if this pulls back, I'll be out at 54. And that'd be right. Again, this is off a little bit. About 8 ticks, but 54. I'm talking the last 2 digits right there, 2335.4. So let me trail those. Bear with me here a second. 335.4. So I got 3 different strategies on here. I'm just trying to go for 335.4. And number 44. All right, those are all working. So now there's a couple things I can do here. There's a potentially I can still take a bark and a lick. Bark is a blind ATR, retest, confirm. And a lick, let's see if there's more liquidity up here. So a lick is basically a bark, and there definitely is, and you can bet your bottom dollar that's going to get there at some point today, would be my guess. It's not a guess, because I watch it happen 5 million times in my life. So there's a way I could go long this prior event as long as this current event doesn't prove bearish, right? So as long as this doesn't, and again, this isn't exactly right, it's ATR. As long as this does not push an ATR, 5-minute ATR out of this zone, I can still take a long off of that. Then what I can do is potentially take longs off of this. So bark and lick are in play because, and then the filter I use for those, as long as algo guy, we call this algo guy, it's an exponential moving average ribbon. So let me put this in now because I know there's always questions on that. So you guys can get it explained. This in, you can watch this. There are many strategies you can trade off of this guy as well. That's in the YouTube. Everything I'm posting everything in YouTube, guys. In the Discord, it's been in there. You can just scroll up and find that stuff. So anyway, this is my filter for barks and licks. As long as the blue is above the red, that's bullish. If it's below the red, it's bearish. If it's bullish, then that is my green light to take barks and licks. Barks and licks again are just different trading strategies that I have. Bark, blind, ATR, retest, confirm. So I'm waiting for the move the ATR away from the volume event, retest, and then back out, aka the confirm to enter the trade. And the lick is basically a bark, and I'm just my ultimate target. So if I put on this lick, well, I can take some off at this liquidity. Oh, that's the one I was looking at. So yeah, so that would be my main target for my lick trade. This did not quite retest this zone, so I can't do anything off of here, but I can still take trades off of this potentially. I probably wouldn't take a lick off of this because my entry is going to be right here. The lick's right there. That's not a good risk reward, right? So I may not take any lick. Well, there's liquidity up here too. So yeah, I would take liquidity, but I'd be going for this liquidity. All right, so we'll keep an eye on this. My stops are in. All right, that's working. And then we'll, this will alert me if this moves an ATR out of here, and then we have other strategies in play. All right, let's just take a quick look at equities, see what's going on in here. There were a couple events earlier. This stop run in ES validated to the downside, and then I did nothing here because if I were going to put on a trade, the Valgo guy was in my direction. I wait for that part happened. That part didn't. No trade for me. It got above here. So when a volume event touches both the ATR on either side, it's a no-go for me as far as I don't trade that event. Doesn't happen that often as far as just immediately disqualifying, but this one disqualified, so now I'm just waiting for some new activity. And the trade has been horrific. What I've been telling my trade room is, I've had a drawdown in a couple of these Apex accounts. Both of them are very close to the funding, the $9,000 profit, and I blew out of both of them. So meaning both of them were up like here. I should even show you what that looks like, just to show you guys. Like you have to understand how these markets, There's another. Before I get into that, let me show you this real quick. This was just literally out of spot gamma yesterday. Let me find it here. So we were reading spot gamma yesterday, and this is what he said, right? I'm supposed to pin this in my room. I haven't yet. This is part of a cycle where we exit a relative high volatility regime. That was February, March, late February, March, where I killed it, right? After which volatility is sold, as with April. In April, I had so many of these accounts were 100% or more profitability, right? And we'll go over the Apex stuff and what I'm doing with the strategies. But anyway, you're going to have drawdowns. So the Izzy trade strategy and the pick trade strategy both were really close to the $9,000. We'll go over this with the Apex here in a second. Funding, right? And then I had a drawdown. So the way this works is if you lose $5,000 before you make 9,000, you get knocked out, right? So, but that's also a trailing stop. So on both of these accounts, I was real close to that, and then I had the typical drawdown. I was up on both of them, as you can see here. Right, there's more activity in gold. So this is when I blew out the other day. So it's still up $4,000. That's still almost 100% profit based on what you can risk, right? You know, it's basically only a $5,000 account. So this was still up $4,000, and I blew out of it because I had a drawdown. So what I'm trying to get at is you're going to have drawdowns when the trade is like it's doing right now. It's been horrible. I mean, this is how you know, and it's finally breaking out. This is how you know when gold, it looks like it's in a tight rubber band. That's when you know trade's terrible, because gold's usually whipsaw city, right? So look at gold the last however many weeks, right? Even that, like this has gone nowhere. So this is why if you are struggling lately and getting whipsawed, it's because the trade sucks. So you have to guard against, going on tilt, or even, when you can recognize this stuff, you can pull back your size. I mean, you can just flat out not trade when it's like this, or you can pull back your size, or what you can do is wait to see in your given market, just wait for heavy relative volume to start hitting the market. So you can see this is why this trade has been so bad. There's been no big money playing lately. It's been nothing but algo fest. This is the relative volume. This is a 5-minute relative volume chart. This is showing me, this is on Sierra chart. Thinkorswim does not have the same type, and I don't use Thinkorswim because it's just showing me the last 60 bars. This relative volume is showing me the exact 5-minute time period for the last, I have it set for 30 days. So it alerts me if something abnormal or out of the ordinary is happening. So when you see this, you are asking for algo city, right? So my point is, if you are deciding whether you want to trade or not, if you're looking at new markets, force it to show you some heavy relative volume before, and then you can participate. See what I'm saying? So even gold. So this was just one little spike here, and I made a mistake earlier. We'll go over this trade I lost. I took a breaking away trade. It's one of the trading strategies. I was looking at natural gas. I glanced over and I thought it was natural gas gold, and I took the trade, and I shouldn't even put the trade on. And of course, it was a loser. But anyway, you can see here, gold is in play. It started here, and it continues. This tells me big money is in here pushing this thing, right? So there you go. That's what you want to look for. Let's see. I heard something new, and so we had another event in gold here. So gold is looking, this is what I thought was going to happen earlier, right? So gold is looking like it's going to rip off the page even more than it just has, right? So what happened earlier is it tried to break out there. And this is it's the pattern so often where the first move out does the juke. This is where I got stopped out. And again, I took a breaking away trade. You need for that, the requirements for that trade is you need 200% relative volume. And again, I looked at the natural gas chart, so I shouldn't even put that trade on. But anyway, it tried to break out. Looked like it was going to be a fail breakout. I even put this in the room, heads up for that. And then it puts in a whopping buying tail. That told you adios, and here we are, right? So anyway, this zone was basically the last stand, and this is what I thought was going to happen earlier. I mean, you got a little bit here. This looks like this is coming back to highs. I'm not saying it's going to happen today, but this is looking extremely bullish now, right? So, I mean, it'll take a rocket science after this, but this is what I thought was going to happen the first thing this morning, and it just took a while for it to happen. So anyway, onto this newest setup. I got to trail my stop again. I'm still long from way down here. I can't even find it. It's so far, right? This is why you keep putting the trades on. I took it on the chin on 3 different strategies, and then I got another setup, put it on, and then you make it all back and then some, right? So that's why if you have an edge, you have to trade in probabilities. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this document before. It's called Trading in the Zone. It's straight out of the book, Trading in the Zone. You need to trade like a casino. Learn to trade edge like a casino, meaning you just keep putting it on. When they're dealing blackjack, if one guy beats them, they don't shut down the entire casino, right? Same with you. You take a couple losses in a row, you don't just say, okay, I'm afraid to trade now. No, as long as you don't hit your daily drawdown, you just keep putting the trade on. That's the whole idea. That's what trading is. If you think it's anything different, you are in the wrong profession. You're going to have losses, wins and losses. And you know the best thing he says in this thing that you need to internalize is there's lots of stuff going on. I don't really want to get into this while there's actual trades to be had, but need to create the experience. Why can't I find this? I mean, basically the 5 truths, though. Anything can happen. You don't need to know what is going to happen next in order to make money. Or do you know? I added that myself. There is this is what I was trying to find. There's a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables to define an edge. Random distribution. An edge is nothing more than an indication of a higher probability. That's it. If you can't internalize that, then you are not going to make it in this business. All right, so anyway, this is the last event. I could trail my stop to here, pretty much. Again, the ATR is not perfect. I'm going to move. I don't stop out, or I try my best not to stop out or enter in prior zones. I'm going to move it right there. So let me do that again. I sound like I'm complaining, but this is a good thing, right? I continue to trail my stop as these events unfold. So I'm going to move that to 94. 33.94. Find it. All right, so even if this pulls back now, these were excellent trades. 394. Sorry guys, it's a big pain going through these. Why did I step out of that one? 105. All right, so the natural gas number just came out, 33.94. All right, so that's working. So this is looking like, if this gets a little lower, this is inexact. I'll know here off the spreadsheet if I put this in. But I can't take longs off of this guy if the most recent event is bearish. So that is looking, and then now we go over and see, hey, what's here? So I just got done saying it looks like gold's going to rip off the page, correct? I am a day trader. If I get if this turns into a bearish setup, I will short this event. I would not short it aggressively. So this is a Izzy variation. We'll talk about this too. I need to see ATR retest confirm. But again, these are important areas. Actually, let's see where else we're at here. I may be able to get out of some without letting this come back and stop me out. It's one of my important areas. I should have been aware of this up here. Yep. So this is right. I should be out of some right here. This is point of control. We talked about that, and this is prior market profile composite, and you can see it's struggling right here. So I'm going to get out. I got 3 on. I'm going to get out of 2 more right here. So now I just have 1 left, and if it stops me out, it stops me out. It's a great trade. Let me get out of these. Let me get out of this too. On here. Sorry, I'm working like 3 different or 5 different accounts here because I got it on my other one too. All right, so that just validated anyway. All right, so I'm exiting this trade because I'm trying to. All right, so I just got 1 left there. Or I'll just let the other one stop me out because this is taking too much time trying to cover all these accounts. And then I will trade this. This just validated as a short. So now again, if it does this, I will take a Izzy short as well. So we'll see what happens there. All right, I'm sick of looking at gold. So let's find something else here. Let's see what is going down. So again, you can hear this stuff firing off, right? I hear it. I'm listening to it. I don't hear it, right? So this is, you just bring up these visual alerts text alerts, and you can go back and see, okay, what did I miss here? So we got some soybeans. Obviously, natural gas number just came out. I'm going to let that settle down. Maybe we'll take trades in there. ZL, no, bonds. Bonds came too. So, oh, I didn't even hear this. I'm sorry. So this is, I know how much you guys love trading the S&P. So let's head over there. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. So why did this not draw? This was over here. Why did it say S&P stops? I'm not seeing anything on here. That wasn't that one. I'm not sure what this is reading here. S&P stops. Oh, you know why? Because it was actually Russell. I just don't have it labeled correctly. So when you switch products, you got to make sure you go into the subchart settings. Anyway, this was Russell. So let's go look at Russell. This is the beauty of the system. You know, it doesn't matter what market you're watching. You can watch multiple markets and just wait for your setups. So that was this event. I haven't missed anything. Smack dab in the middle of the zone. So step one is obviously, you know, first. All right, I stopped out of the rest of those. Make sure I got nothing on. All right, so that pullback, that gold pullback, right? So I got out. I should have got out of. I missed my entry, my exit, even though I was talking about it. And this is what, guys, this is why I get out at these areas. Not all of them. This was point of control, prior market profile composite. Here it is. I pay myself as the market makes money available to me. Point of control of market profile composite. And that was the low of a prior market profile composite. So I should have been out of a couple more there. I got out of a couple, but I gave back a little bit, not much. So I'm stopped out of that trade. So you can see how I'm letting, like if you're sitting here as a trader and you're like, you were long, you're like, yeah, I got it. There's the breakout. This thing is off the page. Just like I was saying, this still, I mean, it still looks bullish depending on what happens here. But you're like, well, what just happened there? I don't understand. Well, it's because this buy ice, this event came in and it didn't work out so well for him, right? So if you're watching the most important thing you can ever watch in futures trading is, in my opinion, you are able to trail your stop to that event instead of letting this thing come all the way back on you and not know why. So this is really important what just happened here. What did I just talk about? How that's such an inherently a bullish event. And I said, if this fails, watch out. So trading is if-then scenarios. You got to be ready to pivot. I was ready to bet the farm, aka just trade bigger size to the long side. Something's going on here. This thing should not be doing what it's doing right now. So what does that mean? It means this still looks bullish here, but according to these events, something may be up right now. What does that mean? These are just opinions of mine. I still will trade this accordingly. See what I'm saying? If another event comes in and it's bullish, I'll trade it accordingly. That's why this is the driver of my trading. I don't impose my thoughts of what I think should happen on the market. If you do that, you are going to get in big trouble. I let what's happening in the market tell me what to do. That is key, right? So that thing's all over the place today, and at least we caught something there, or I caught something. Hopefully my trade room was talking about it. I hope they got it. All right, so let's see where we are in Russell here. Here we go. Important area, right? Stop run into an ISI zone, inflection zone. We just nicknamed them ISIs, right? This is breaking out of this balance. Of course, my mother is calling me right during the webinar. So, I usually don't like taking ISI trades aggressively, meaning you get the volume event and you take it first move out. If it's breaking out of multi-day balance, because you are asking for trouble if you try to stand in front of a balance breakout. This is far enough from that I would take this aggressively, and this is where, so this zone was drawn, buy and tail, directional conviction that way, right? So this is an important zone. If this were to fail, this volume event, I'll take this aggressively. If you want to be conservative, you can wait for the ATR retest confirm, right? So you're seeing, this is an important area. Do you see me getting short right here? No, I wait for my requirements to get short, meaning that has to move out of here outside of an ATR, and then I will enter it. And, traders just love to put in these trades, and only risk. When I trade my Russell, I like to risk 10 ticks to make 40. Well, great. The market doesn't care you want to risk 10 ticks. The market cares about volume events and volatility. So I place my, if I do get short here, my stop's going all the way up here, and that keeps me out of Algoville. You see these Christmas tree looking thing? Those are algos whipsawing traders to death. So if I do get in this trade, I am going to make sure I put it up here, because then I force the market to come back in ATR, back through the volume event, push another ATR plus out of there, and then I say, uncle, okay, you win out of the next trade. I do my best not to let that happen to my trades and my mental game, right? Because it can drive you crazy. All right, so that's the short side. I can take an Izzy. What was that? ES? Hold on. Yes. So ES. Now we do have an event there. I just want to see what else is here on Russell. There's something else to short up here. Hopefully it's maybe a lug. What do we got? No such thing. So there's nothing else for me to short up here besides an Izzy zone, right? We're in between market profile composites. There's just nothing for my strategies, these, right? So nothing to short there. On the flip side, I could potentially go long this event. What do I need for that? I need algo guy to be agreeable. This is my filter. This is bullish. Blue is above the red. So what does that mean? That means I have green lights to put on bark, blind, ATR, retest, confirm, and lick if there's enough liquidity up here. And these are decent here, so I would put that on. Just resting liquidity. And when I put on a lick trade, it's all or nothing. All right, I think that's on Q2. All right, so we'll come back to, if this retest confirms, then I'm going to go long. Russell, why is this not drawing stops lately? I'm not understanding here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this lately. So again, if you have this version of the drawing tool, it's not drawing S&P stops. This was threshold. So I got to draw this manually. So this is another thing that you learn from my course. You know, the whole idea of this is the drawing tool is you don't have to draw the zones, but sometimes you have to come in here and draw it manually, right? So this is what I'm talking about here. So this is my SI trading course, Stop Iceberg trading course. You can get it on my website, or you can get it in the Bookmap marketplace. So that's this here. So I go over all this stuff. So this is very important, drawing the zones, right? And I start out how it originally was, and we've advanced, as we've learned how to draw these better. But this is what you need. Obviously, if you have the zone drawing tool that's in that document that I posted, it's going to draw it automatically. But there are times, like you're watching right now, where it didn't draw for some reason, because this is why we have this in beta test mode, because it's not perfect yet. I got to draw this manually. So you had a little bit of stops here, and then you had that. I'm just going to draw this one that turned into threshold. So you want to see where this started to spike, right? So that's basically right there. Of a price that hasn't already touched, so I wouldn't draw it there because the price touched there and it didn't trigger the stop. So this is where it started. Let's draw buy stops. And see how it spiked there. So I got to include those prices right up there. Let's draw that. And didn't spike anymore here. So I don't have to include those prices. So that's the stop run that I see. 527.50 to 525.50. All right, so I'll come back here in a second. We want to head over to NQ2 because that's a fast mover. I don't want to miss potential trades here. Let's see what's going on here. And here you go. This one drew at least. That's good. So down here on the sub chart, you can see it was almost 200 stops. The zone for those stops were 1250 to 975. Step one. I may have to put this in the spreadsheet if the ATR is off, but I want to see where we're at. I don't have any Izzy zone here, so there's nothing for me to short off of that. Let's see what else we got. Other areas of. Oh, there we go. I forgot to cancel these stops. Hold on a second. That's not like me. So those stops that I had earlier in gold, they just got filled, and I don't have a position on anymore, so I don't want those. Yet another error. I'm not seeing anything on market profile. Not seeing anything on lugs. So there's nothing for me to short off of this event of my trading strategies. So on the long side, if this, as long as this doesn't confirm as a short setup, I can still take a long off of this. I can obviously take barks and licks if that occurs. Algo guys in my favor. Just pulled back blue. Blue is above the red, so this is my filter for those trading strategies. Let's see if this ATR is correct here. So this is showing me a 24.4 ATR. It's pretty close, but it's not exact. This is showing 23.2. So it's pretty close. So let's just plug it in though, because I don't, these values are exact, and you can't imagine how many times, and you've watched it in my webinars, how many times I get ticked to the day, per day. It's ridiculous. So I want to make sure this is completely accurate. That's the top of the zone. 18209.75. And ATR is 23.2. So to invalidate this as a long setup, there's your invalidation right there, 8650. Let's see how far it's off. So that's this. So an invalidation for the long is the same as a short validation, or a validation for the short, right? That's showing 85 quarter. So it's off by about a point-ish. See, it's showing 8650. So again, when the ATR is correct, you don't even have to use the spreadsheet. So as long as that doesn't get down to that 85 quarter, this is potentially still a long setup. So then what do I need to make that a long setup? I need to see an ATR out the other way. That's the validation price, 35.75. So again, this is going to be off a little bit. This is showing 37. So it's about a point and a quarter off. So meaning if this comes up here, tags that ATR, that's my qualifications to make it a bullish setup. Retest, confirm. I can take bark and potentially lick. Let's see, there's liquidity up here. I wouldn't obviously trade at this liquidity because the fill would be up here. I'm not seeing a ton of liquidity up here. Well, yeah, there is right here. This is heavy enough for me. So I would take the bark and the lick, and this would be right. For the lick trade, this is my main target. I don't get out in any other areas except for the liquidity. So we will see what happens with that event. See where we are in ES here. Still bounced around that zone. Where's my chart? Lost it as usual. On here. There's stuff firing off everywhere. I lost my ES chart. Here it is. All right, so this is a great example. Like I would not take that. This is an IZZY zone, right? We're right on the edge of it. This is breaking out right now of balance. If I do take this IZZY short, say this event turns bearish, I will take it, but I need to see my variation is that, and it's explained in the document right here. Right? Usually IZZYs are moves into the inflection zones, and it's an automatic fade. It's a fade trade, just like the lugs are fade trade, right? If it moved in, say it moved into this one, I would take that aggressively, meaning it moves into the zone, I get the volume event, I take it first move out. This zone is too close to that for me to take it aggressively. I don't want to stand in the way of guys puking their brains out, as we're already seeing. We just saw buy stops, right? So if I do take this IZZY, I need to see this, then I'll take it. It's still not a high percentage trade, but I'm willing to take that because we get failed breakouts all the time, right? So I'm willing to take it, right? And that's this. In case of a zone that is directly above, in this case, a multi-day balance area, trade is still taken but needs ATR retest confirm of the volume of that. So that's what I'm waiting for there. Other than that, let's see what else we got here. This is pretty close to a pick, so I can take the pick trade as well. I don't have that requirement as far as the ATR retest confirm on my picks, so it's supposed to be aggressive, but this one didn't quite, it's not quite there, so I'm not gonna, I'll wait for another event up there. So it was close, but I'm not gonna take that one. You could say that's close enough. I'm making a decision. I'm not going to take that aggressively or take it at all until it moves a little higher. All right, so those are the potential shorts in play. Now for longs, I can obviously go long, bark and lick here because algo guy's bullish. That's my filter for the 100th time on this webinar. So if this gets up here, again, this is probably off a little bit. This ATR is showing 4.6. 4.3, so really close. right? So we'll just leave it. I don't need to enter this in right now because it's just sitting here, but this gets up here, tags the ATR line, comes back, retest, confirm, then I'm going to go long at that price. Bark and lick. So now I just wait, right? I'm not just jumping in because there is a volume event, which some people in my trade room seem to be doing lately. You know who you are. I wait for my ATR retest confirm. Let's see, let me say something on my. I have ES set to sliding. Is that why this is? I may have changed this before. Let's see. My trade room's trying to tell me I have sliding mode. Yeah, but that's why. That's why. I eventually want to move back to sliding, but right now I've been on reset, so that's the reason that it didn't draw. See this? So it didn't. When you got it on reset mode, it reset right at the, because it's set for 10 seconds. So it reset before the other batch came in. So when you combine these two, it was threshold, right? So that's why. Good catch there, Dude Runner. He's in my trade room, pointed that out. But that's still an event. You had 200. You know, my threshold for stop runs in ES is 500. So you had 293 and another 243. That got over threshold. So that's an event. All right, so we'll watch to see what happens here. We're watching to see what happens in Q. I don't think this disqualified yet. It might have. Let's see. Not quite. Or did it? What do we say? 85 something? Let's see here. Again, the ATR is changing, but that's what that's pretty much what it was when it got down there. So what did we say the invalidation price was? 86.50. I think that got down to 86.50. Yes. No. Yes. To the tick. See what I mean about having exact prices? 86.50 to the tick. So for me, for this event, I cannot take a short or a long off of this particular event, right? Because it was able. This is how I judge these from watching literally probably tens of thousands of these for real, right? So if it's able to push an ATR below the zone, there's something more going on. That's just how I judge it. I cannot take longs now. So, and we already looked at these areas. There's nothing for me to short. So this area is dead to me. I don't care what happens with it. I'm not trading it. The flip side, you can't trade. We have a different trade in my trade room. I'm not going to get into it here, but it's a reversion trade. And I saw right before I got on, this one worked perfectly here. So this is this part of the spreadsheet, right? So as you got to figure out what type of trader you are. Most people gravitate to wanting to scalp, right? It's very, very difficult to scalp these markets because you're trading against computers. That's how I made millions of dollars, and I can't make millions of dollars doing that anymore. There's a reason for it, because it's almost impossible, right? There's different ways to scalp, but you can't stare at the dome. So many you email me, how do you trade off the dome? You don't. I don't even look at the dome anymore. I look at the liquidity in the market, and that's the dome put on the chart. As far as trading, you're wasting your time. But this is more of a scalper's mentality, this trade. It's the ATR reversion strategy, where we're taking, because it's all I ever talk about, the propensity for these markets to come back to these volume events, right? So earlier this morning, hopefully the room caught this. Unless it was disqualified, I didn't look, but you can see here. So these dash lines are the entries. So that's the one ATR entry. The two ATR entry was right there. This is the stop for the one, the stop for the two. So you could have got on the one and the two, not stopped out of either one, and it comes back to the zone, and you're out of the zone. That's the best scalping that I've seen besides the market pulse. We'll get into that potentially today too. That's the trade. So if you took those are great trades. On natural gas. I'll try that over there. All right, so we're just waiting here. Again, this is disqualified for me either way. I'm not taking anything in NASDAQ, and then I'm waiting to see what happens here in ES. If this moves out, retest confirms. And this could take 5 hours the way this has been trading lately. Like, these markets have been horrible. So what I was getting at earlier, if you're having a current drawdown, you don't abandon your system if you know you have an edge, right? That's what so many traders do. They get something that's working. So like I was using March and late February, March as an example. Trades were simple, right? You're like, you put on a trade, the thing rips, you're out. lately it's been an absolute grind, whipsaw city, right? So if you're struggling, if you have an edge that you know is an edge, and most traders don't know they have an edge, that's the beauty of this. I can guarantee you this is an edge. It's the best edge I've ever seen in my trading career. Then you don't panic when you're losing. Meaning, yeah, it doesn't feel good to have losing days and drawdowns, like I already showed you those Apex accounts that drew back. But you either decide you're going to trade smaller, or you just keep putting on the trades and you wait for it to expand. That's why going into the next rant, why I always tell you guys, when you're doing well, you don't set profit goals for the day. I want to make $5,000 a day. When I hit that $5,000, I'm done for the day. No, when you make $5,000, why can't you make 10? Why can't you make 20? Keep your ass in your chair. Doesn't mean you give it all back. You give back. Come up with these rules before you're in the trades, obviously. You say, okay, my goal, my target is $5,000. Then I give myself 1,000 drawback. And if I draw back 1,000, then I'm done. I'm fine with that. You have to have some kind of, obviously, stop loss on your good days. But do not turn off your computer when you make $5,000. This is a perfect example of what I've been talking about. You had days where in March that you could have made 10, 15, 20 because everything is working. And then you run into periods like right now that nothing is working and the market doesn't go anywhere. So days like now, it's when you want to say, you know what, this is not my type of trade. I'm going to go work out and work on my trade plan. That's why I'm trying to tell you, when you're doing well, trading is very difficult many of the times. So when things are making sense, take advantage of it. So that's that little rant. That wasn't too bad. All right. So if you guys got questions, throw them in the YouTube channel. All right, let's see here. Jim Thomas, good catch. Buy stops and RTY. GC validated. Yes. Are you in my trade room, by the way? If not, you're making some good calls there. I didn't do anything off of this. I could have taken this Izzy. Remember I was talking about this? I didn't do anything off of here because I said it's breaking directly out of balance, right? So you got your Izzy up here. I didn't take it aggressively. I would have taken it if it did that because that's what I was talking about. How I'm very bullish this market, but I will still take shorts. That has not happened yet. It still may do that, and I would take an Izzy if it does that, and it wouldn't surprise me one bit. This reversion trade, and this is getting, again, I don't want to get into this type of trade on here, but these are A+ trades when you get the reversions entries in prior events. Those are the best trades. They're A+. I'm actually, Johan, my developer, and I are developing this exact trade with a trading firm. So we will have the stats for all these markets here soon. If it's ever done, it's been months that they've been working on it. I'm just trying to see here if I'm able to short this. Did this qualify as a long? I don't think it did. So there's a potential way I can go short off of this guy. Remember we talked about this step row, because it never qualified as a long. So if it didn't qualify for a long, I could still go short that. And you can see it already bounced off of there, right? So if this comes back, if I want to, I can short off of this event right now. If it comes back, I mean, I can get in right now. It already got to that price. Let's see here. I want to see. Oh yeah. Well, Algo guy is still bullish, right? Blue is not pulled, so I can't take Barks or Lick short. I can't take an Izzy short off of that for the same reason I wasn't going to take an Izzy short. I mean, I can on the ATR retest confirm. Actually, this already looked like that happened. So what I'm going to do here, if this comes back, because that never qualified as a long, so the shorts are still in play. You did get your, actually you did not get to the, did it? Yeah, right there. So this stuff is for that guy there, right? I don't think that did though. Let's just plug it in. So this is where it gets a little complicated because you got to go back to the zone and see what the ATR was when it got down here. Let's just take a quick look, because I'm pretty sure that zone's still in there. 24 to 95, that was it, right? Yep, that was the step row setup. At the time, this was the ATR. To validate that as a short, it needed to touch 59 at the time. The ATR expanded is the question. It's 3.61 now. So it's pretty close to what it was. So that did touch 59. Right? Right there. All right, so if this comes back, I'm going to take this short. And that price, and this is the Izzy short because I wait for the ATR retest confirm. I'm going to go short at 54. I could put on 5. Let me get that working. So guys, you see, I said how bullish this market looks. If it's that bullish right now, you shouldn't be seeing bearish events. So I'm willing to short this based on real-time volume events. If that comes back at 50 to 54, I'm talking the last 2 digits, I will be short. All right. So again, what am I doing? Important area. Izzy zone. That step rose event was right in here. There was another one up here. That one hasn't retested yet. This one got your ATR. It did the retest. If it comes back, I'm going to go short Izzy. It doesn't feel good. Like this trade feels terrible as a short. But I don't know which ones are going to work, which ones aren't. Nobody knows. So I just continue to put on the trade if I have an edge, which I do. So there you got some in crude. I'm very interested in crude. We'll go over there. There's that. There's that. If it comes back, I'm short Izzy. So gold has been a little bit of a bitch today, pardon my language, but I will put it on. All right, so here's a new event right now in crude. Let's see what it looks like. See what areas we're in. So thesis for crude. This is obviously very bullish. If this event turns bullish, I'm going to trade double size to the long side. Why? This thing has had so many chances to break down. It will not break down, and it keeps respecting that guy. Right? So we've been talking nothing but talk about this in the trade room. Crude, I mean, look at crude lately. If you wonder why you're struggling, this is why you're struggling. Nothing is moving. It's just whipsawing traders to death. So you don't abandon your edge if you are losing when you see this type of trade. You just say, I'm not trading right now. But anyway, this tried to break down, fail breakout, tried again, didn't do it, built more balance, and now what's happening? Now you got multi-days. This is over a week of balance here, and it's breaking out. All it did is pull back to the zone. So with this trade, I can take an Izzy, see how, well, I mean, it did try to pull back in. So I'll take an Izzy, I'll take that double size, and I'll take that first move out of there. That's one strategy. And we got a Fed chirp too. Perfect. No, I'm sorry. That wasn't. What's this? We got 177 and you had 93. I think this is the same house. So I'm just seeing if I want to combine these two. 93 isn't anywhere near threshold, but if it's the same price too. You see it right there. See how this spiked? Right there. Spiked. Right there. All right, nat gas is going crazy. The number came out. We'll go and look at it. So if this turns into a bullish setup, I'm taking my Izzy long, and I'm taking a 2x size. Where else? What else do we have here? This is a pick as well. What's a pick? This is the top of this market profile composite. These are the best ones. Market moved out, retest the top, volume event, take that. So I'll take that, trade aggressively. What's Algo Guy doing? Algo Guy's bullish. I could take Barks and Licks as well. So we got a lot of potential longs here. If this fails, I could take a pick short. Why? Because we're right on the edge here. So if this fails, I can take that aggressively as well. Right? So I've got a lot of stuff depending on what happens here. Again, I let the volume event tell me in my rules. I'm just not jumping in a trade here. If this moves out of here, I'm going to go short pick. If this holds, I'm going to go long Izzy, pick, and then a potentially bark and lick. But I need to see this pattern for the bark and lick. And I guarantee you there's liquidity up here. Hey, look at all. Whoa, I wonder where this market's going. There's some down here too. What does that mean? It means that the likelihood of they could do that first, then come up here. It could do that first and come down here. I don't care. I'm letting this tell me. So if this, Algo Guy's bullish, so I will put on, and this is put on licks, barks and licks, and those are my targets. All right, so I have aggressive entries here, and let me see, meaning I'm getting at this first move out of here, I'm getting long. This is almost spot on right now, this ATR. Here's my entry, right there, 79.51, and it's telling me my size is here based on my capital, my risk. I'm risking 10%. Don't risk 10% of your trade and your rent. But we'll get into that when we talk about Apex. I can put on 14. I can go long, Izzy, and pick 79.51. So I'm gonna put that in. Actually, here, let's do it on this so it's easier for you guys to watch. This is just sim mode. So, and again, this is. I'll put on 14. This is the big one. I'm obviously not trading 14 lots, but just so you guys can watch. Well, that's this. That's working. All right, let me put this in. My Apex, guys. 14. That is. What price did I say? 51. All right, that's almost filled right now. That's that and Izzy and pick. About to be filled there. Oh, actually, I said double size, right? So I'm going to go double size on both of these. Good luck to me. There you go. That's that. Let me go over to recruit on this account. Give me a second. 51. All right. All right, that's working. You see it there? If it fills, you'll hear it. And then there's other. So this is already validated as a long now, right? It got to the ATR. Now I have my order working for my pick and my Izzy. If it does this, I'm going to put on Bark and Lick too, all double size. What could go wrong, especially in this market environment? I'm asking for Whipsaw City, but I've got to take advantage. I mean, this could be off of the page here if this starts breaking higher. There's nothing here structure-wise. We already talked about you got all. Just imagine if you're a longer term short in here. How are you feeling right now? How are you going to be feeling when it moves a little higher? You're going to say, "Get me the hell out of my shorts that I've been sitting in for 2 weeks." Puke. That's the next area up. Would be my call. Or could fake and move this way. It's if then scenarios. I don't know. I'm taking advantage of what I can see right now with the real time volume. All right, what did you say? Hello, Scott. Did you mean if you have an edge? Yes, but on. No idea what that means. Margitini. I don't know what you're asking me there. All right, what's this here in ES? This didn't draw either. What is going on here? Oh, I'm sorry. 700 is my thresholds for ES. So this is close. You can draw it. So what am I waiting for here? Remember, I was waiting for it to put on a bark trade. I need to still see the ATR. It got there. Now if this goes retest confirm, I'm putting on Bark and Lick longs. So I'm not just, there's nothing here for me to be aggressively long. If this is an area that you love, that you get aggressive long, you can take that right now. Because it's not guaranteed this thing's going to retest confirm. And some trades you're going to miss if you're waiting for those strategies and waiting for that routine. That's why some trades, like for instance this Izzy trade and this pick trade, I'm not waiting for a retest of the zone. Because those areas are so powerful, I'm going to get in right away, right? So that's why I have on here aggressive or retest failure, right? That's why Izzy's are aggressive, for most part. Again, there's some variations, but most part it's an aggressive trade. The pick is an aggressive trade, meaning I'm in first move out of the zone. The barks and licks, I wait for the retest confirm. So that's just going to assure me if this thing rips off the page and never comes back to the zone, at least I have something on, right? Because those areas are very important. So now we wait. Should get some tick straight going. All right, I'm filled. So we got pick and bark, or I'm sorry, pick and Izzy on. Where's my stop go? It goes all the way down here. I can just feel the eye rolling. Oh my God, you're going to risk that many ticks on this trade? Yeah. Because I'm not going to let this thing, I'm not going to let these algos whipsaw me. I'm going to force this now to come all the way back to ATR, get through the volume event, and push another ATR, then I say you win. I'm not going to let them do that to me, because that's probably what's going to happen, because that's all that ever happens pretty much most of the time, because these algos run the show. So if that happens, so be it. If it does retest confirm, I still can put on barks and licks, and you see all this liquidity up there. As of now, I have 2 strategies on. Let me pull my stops in here before I forget. So that stop is actually, that's not right. It's got to go with this line here. This is at 79.13. There we go. 79.13 is my stop. So let me put this on. What I don't see happening here, which I don't like, it's opening the door for even more whipsaw. There's no really heavy relative volume coming in these markets, right? Or in this market, I should say. Look at this. That's not what you want. The big money is not playing in here yet. So what does that tell me? That tells me it's probably going to go like that. Actually, that's the wrong. That's the hourly chart. This one I'm talking. It's even worse. Here are my gold smokings earlier, by the way. You can see what's going on in natural gas. The number came out, but the relative volume's off the charts in there. But you see here, there's nothing going on in here. That's telling me I'm in for one of these. It doesn't mean they can't come in, but I would not surprise me one bit if this comes back and tortures me for hours. So it doesn't matter. I don't know what's going to happen. I know what the volume event is and my rules. I'm in the trade. Let's rock. Let me put this in. I got double size on too. That's probably not smart in this. I should have said double size only if, here, I'm going to get out of half of these. I'm just going to have regular size on because that relative volume is pathetic. I'm not going to sit here with double size on. I did it yesterday and I got crushed. I did it yesterday. I did it before the number. I should have never done it. Put on double size for the number. So anyway, I'm still long. I just have regular size on, and my stop is 73. What did I say? 13. I'm sorry, 79.13. That's working. That's working. And that's working. So if the relative volume was really heavy, I would trade double size. I'm still long, I'm just not double size. So see what happens there. Here's your, we're just waiting for a retest confirm, and I'm going to take Barks and Licks long NES. The NASDAQ there was nothing doing for this setup for me. We already talked about all that. You got questions, throw them in. Let's see what the mayhem here in natural gas was today. Yeah, so I mean, as this is what it's going to look like a lot of times after a number. I mean, what I would do if you do want to trade, I'm not even, my brain is not ready to trade this right now. I would just make this all one zone. This is basically a double whammy. You had the dumb money puke, and now you got huge sell ice coming in. We'll take one quick glance because I know my trade room trades this, and they always like the thesis. You know, this is, once again, you're in an IZZY zone, but you're breaking directly out of balance. So if you're going to take that IZZY, I would demand that. If not, if this turns into a bullish setup, I will trade this, and I'm going to trade it double size. There's nothing here. Like this thing is gone. It looks like. Don't know. I'll let the vent tell me. So what you can do here is make this, we'll just do it. I just said I wasn't going to do this, but I'll do it. Make this one zone. So you can actually X out of that one, X out of that one, because it's all just one area. And I'm going to trade this as one zone. So here's the top. Move that puppy up. X out of that one. Move this puppy down. One zone, 22.96 to 2.265. Here's your retest. Surprise, surprise. You guys took this A+ reversion. This was beauty. That's a Buick Clark. Movie. Real tomato ketchup, Eddie. There you go. It was like the 2 or what was it, 2 or 3? Anyway, you guys ever see this pattern? I don't know. It happens 85 times a day. All right, so if that came back, remember I already had the IZZY short working off of that. Well, I can take the IZZY short off of that if that comes back. So I'm not gonna. I'll keep an eye on that. That might take a long time. Nobody guesses the movie. You all want Fs. If you do not know those movie quotes, I don't even want you on the webinar. I need you to exit the webinar. Vacation. God, you guys are pathetic. My trade room better have that. Let's see. I'm gonna see if my trade room's in. Nope. CL Red Rum, actually, good catch. Spodia, didn't see this one. Another trading strategy. Actually, no, it's not a red rum. I mean, it is, but you need to see the retest. And here we go. So this is exactly what I just covered half of those and don't have full size. Here's your retest. But now it is a red rum too. What's red rum? It's a volume event. Whoops. Uh-oh. In the red. But to take it aggressively, You got to see buy ice or sell stops, because sell stops are usually fades, and then or you want buy ice, you want the big money buying in there. In this case, it was sell ice. I'll still take the red rum, but I need to see that, and that's looking like that's going to happen. Or this can just rip right through it. Then I get stopped out of my long. Now, if this comes back, I think this retested. Let's see. I don't know why he didn't announce it unless I missed it. Why did he not? This should have triggered. This should have said this is a retest right there. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, this should be telling. So this touched exactly. So this is an official retest of the zone. We have it at 10% of an ATR above the zone. So that is 10% of an ATR. This comes back. Now I'm going to put on, I already have on pick and Izzy longs. There you go. Now if this comes back, I'll put on bark, lick, and red rum. And I'm going to have 5 strategies on and horrific relative volume. But that's all right. That's not part of my trading strategy. You don't see on these strategies, you don't see on any of them, don't take unless there's heavy relative volume, except for I take that back, and this is where I made the mistake earlier in gold before I got on. This one demands high relative volume on a breaking out of balance. Other than that, none of these strategies say high relative volume. Those are my rules, so I will put those trades on if this comes back here. If this rips right through, then here's my stop. I'm out of the trade. Remind you guys, like I said, this is I am down $250 on these accounts, but I just put this on so you guys can monitor what's going on here. My stop's there. If it stops me out, probabilities, on to the next trade. And it probably wouldn't surprise me with this liquidity down here. Get these guys filled first and then watch us come all the way back. That would be real surprising. So I call this exact thing, right? This is what you need to expect. So how many are like, oh, I'm going along with Scott. Oh my God, I'm out. I force this to come down here. If it can do that, then on to the next trade. I was expecting this when I saw that relative volume. Chop City. Like all these markets for weeks and weeks lately. All right, so if that comes back, I'm going to put on bark, lick, and red rum. The entry is 52. Put those in real quick. Red rum. All right, those are all working. So if that comes back, I'm going to have 5 different trading strategies on long. What could go wrong there? All right, so I'll keep an eye on this. I want to go long. What did I say this was? It's not an Izzy because that'd be a fade trade. Let's see where else we're at here. So this is a pick. I could take the pick, right? Volume event. Breaks out of there. I'll take it long. I could take a pick short here too, depending on what happens. Trading strategy, what I'm looking for is a volume event at an important area. Here's your volume event at an important area. If this breaks out, I'm going to put at least a pick on, and I'm going to take double size here. So this is long at 23.12. You can see it's saying I can put on 8.8. So it's basically saying I can put on 1. You could trade that. They don't really have a micro natural gas unless something's changed. They have it. It's a quarter tick. I don't even have that set up. I think it's QNG. So I'll just I'm going to put on 2 because I want to trade double size here. If that comes back to 23.12, or what did I say? 23. It's supposed to have it labeled. I don't know what's going on with this drawing tool today, but 23.12. You can see it there at the bottom left corner. So if that comes out of there, I'm going to go long the pick trade at 23.12. That's working. Remember I said I'm trading double size because this thing looks like it's going to rip off the page. And I'm going to let the volume event tell me. Actually, this is already confirmed, so I could put on potentially barks and licks too. See how it got to the ATR there? Here's your retest, moves back out. I can put on those as well, as long as algo guy's bullish. And I believe it is. So barks, licks, and pick, I'm going long. And I'm going long double size. So that is 23.12 for that one. those are all working. Put it on this account too. All right, those are all working. And well, look what's happening here. I can't believe this is going to come back to this zone. It's something. I'm kidding. I'm being facetious. This is all that it ever does, pretty much. So, still waiting for that occurrence, and I'll go along a yes. It's taking a sweet old time because the trade sucks every single day. Hero. Let's take a look at Hero. This is the options activity in the market. Mag 7 is just kind of doing nothing here. So the white is the market. The gray or green, whatever color this is in colorblind, that is the options activity. So this is just another player in the markets. These options dealers have to hedge their options activity with futures. So it behooves you to keep an eye on this. They say for the ES or for the S&P, this is collectively the SPX, SPY, and the futures. The options activity, $1 billion notional is a big move. So if you start seeing this move $1 billion, then it's telling you something. Let's look at our internals just to see what's happening here today. You can see the ADDs, it's not trend up, but it's just gone straight up and sitting here. This is telling you something too as far as bullish, bearish. The tick, NYSE tick cannot get below 0 right now. It can't even get above 500 here. This is why this trade sucks. This is the overall market. These are stock, the NYSE, the entire universe of stocks, upticking or downticking. Nothing's going on there. This is the NASDAQ universe of stocks. This is why the trade is horrible. Once again, it's like every day lately. Don't lose all of your capital in this type of trading environment. And I mean, this trade is just horrendous, guys. I don't. This is why you want to be looking at other markets, right? So, gold. We got natural gas. I'm about to get stopped out of crude. This doesn't surprise me one bit. But guys, this is trading. You take your loss, move on to the next one. If I got another setup, I would take that right back. So, see what happens there. Madam Shizzle, yes, SPX call wall, not a good trade, especially when, right. And that's fine. If that's your rule, Madam Shizzle, very good active trader in my trade room. She's talking about this. I'm assuming you're talking about this as resistance. I mean, it's above here. I don't have this as part of my trade plan. I don't say I don't take barks and licks if we're at the spot gamma call wall. Does that mean you can't? Absolutely not. If you want to incorporate that into your, this is important information. I don't not take trades if it's at areas because it can blow through, so on and so forth. But yeah, if that's an important area for you, absolutely. All right, so surprise, surprise, there's your retest to the tick, looks like. Or did it get there? No, missed it by a tick. Still hasn't retested. So this is, this is subjective too sometimes. You have to say, okay, if you're an algo, you're not taking that trade. It's got to touch that, and it's got to touch that. If you're a human, you can say, well, that's close enough on a retest. I'm going to take it if it moves back out of here. I'm going to follow my rules. Did not get back there as a retest. That's the retest line. It doesn't have to touch the actual zone. Just 10% of an ATR. So that has not happened yet, so I'm not taking that trade. Instead, I want to be tortured by crude, Algoville. If you took the one ATR, by the way, that was golden. This is the reversion trade we were talking about earlier. There's your entry, right back to the zone. Over and over and over. That's the trade you should be taking in this environment. We've been talking about it nonstop in my trade room. Reversion trades have been just killing it because it's whipsaw city. Speaking of which, I can take barks and licks off this as well. This is Russell. We showed this zone earlier. So if this comes back, I can do the same thing with this guy. I'll take barks and licks on that as well. Now we just wait and watch paint dry. So you got questions, throw them in the YouTube. Only got about 10 more minutes in here, so. Brian Gardner, spring season pace is in indices seems like also a layer of influence currently. Jim Thomas, that looks like your subchart is set for sliding. Thank you. We caught that. Guys, you can have it. I had it at sliding early on, and there was some bug with it. This was a couple years ago. And then I changed it to reset because reset gives you a clearer view because it resets at every whatever time period you have. So you can see on this subchart. So you have my reset for 10 seconds for stops, 1 minute for ice. You can change it to whatever you want. These are the best ones that I've determined. But you're going to get instances where it resets after 10 seconds and you're not going to get the full threshold. That's why it didn't draw. Because these are set for, it's set on the on-chart stuff, but it didn't read it as 500 because it was 253 and 243. That was 500. Or it was actually more than that, right? Yeah, 290. But anyway, we'll watch when I turn it to sliding what it looks like. See that? That's why it picked it up. And that's fine. I mean, I used to have sliding and then I kind of got, accustomed to the reset mode. But I mean, even with the icebergs, right? Put it on sliding. I just don't like that look. See what I'm saying? It like just continues and continues. I like it where it separates it. It's just easier on my brain. And I have the zone drawer. You got to keep an eye on your markets again when you have instances like this and draw the zone yourself. But I like it for reset right now. I don't like that continuation look. This doesn't help me distinguish areas as well. All right, still waiting for a retest of that. This is just the pattern, guys. This trade absolutely sucks. It's just slow grind, go nowhere. Well, one good thing about this crude, at least I got out of, I didn't trade it. I saw the relative volume and I took off the double size. So still going to suck to be a loser, but at least I got out of that. Speaking of that, here's the retest. I could put on this Izzy trade now, right? I believe this ATR is spot on. It's 3.55. So I should, of course, the camera in my office rips it right through there. I should be short this Izzy right now. Hold on. Missed that. What's the size? 6.6, so 6 micros. So that's just showing you full contract. If you're going to trade micros, is just, or full size, or micros, you times it times 10. You gotta be kidding me, man. The minute I open my mouth, the thing just rips right through them. So I'm not chasing it. If it comes back to this price, I'll get short. I missed the trade, 04.
That's 11:30 a.m. Eastern
Here,
Time.
I'll chase it down to there. Here, I'll chase it down 5 ticks. So I'm short Izzy. Guys, I just got done talking about how, I've said it multiple times, how this market still looks very bullish. But I got my conditions for my trading strategy. I took it. It wouldn't surprise me one bit to watch this rip off the page. I don't know what's going to happen next, so I continue to put the trades on. I don't know if I mentioned this document before. You don't need to, and I've added this, or do you know what is going to happen next in order to make money? Anything can happen. Every moment in the market is unique. You don't know. If you have the edge, you keep putting the trade on. That's it. Guys, this is trading. If you cannot grasp that document, you are not going to make it in trading. It's just not going to happen like 95% of the world of traders, right? I'm about to get stopped out of crude. That's just how it is. It goes against all human nature. That's why trading's so hard, right? And then those of you that say, oh, I want to trade, I want to make $500 a day, I want to make $1,000 a day, thinking you're going to make $1,000 every day, or whatever amount you put, it's not ever going to happen. You can average that. You're not going to make money every day. It's not going to happen, ever. All right, see if you guys got any other questions before I hop off here. Barbara Newton, what about NGs? Lots of zones. Yeah, we drew that. ZB, you asked about. Let's see. Probably missed a trade there, I'm assuming. Because every time they work, I miss them. Or I should say everyone that I miss seems to work. It's just in my head, obviously. But all right, so this is, we got buy ice here. This was almost 1,000. Threshold for bonds is 500, so that's a lot. Let's take a look at where we're at. So this could only be taken, I mean, not only, but this is not an Izzy long. The market just moved into this. Izzy zones are fades. So if this event were to be a bearish event, then I could take a short. I can't take an Izzy long off of there. I don't want to, right? Then this is a bullish event. So the Izzy's off the table, right? Because I got the ATR. Let's see what Algo Guy is looking like. The Algo Guy looks like it's pulling. not yet. So that's bearish. I can't take barks or licks because this event proved to be bullish. It hit the ATR. That's how I judge them. If you say it doesn't matter, I'm taking it, you do whatever you want. That's why you're on the webinar, to learn from my, 7 years of watching these things and trading them. If you want to go through 7 years, go ahead. Or you can, I just stopped out of those crude trades. If you want to, the best thing, one of the awesome things about Bookmap is you can replay the day, right? So you can go back. Members of my trading room have 4 years of data feeds. You can go back and replay every day you want and then test them out for yourself. All right, quickly, the other things before I hop off here that we didn't really cover. This is all the stuff that I use, right? So there's a zone drawing tool. Here's the course. It's also on the Bookmap Marketplace. Here's for my spreadsheet, inflection zones, website, email. Here's my Twitter, trade room. If you want to join the trade room, this is exactly what I do every day in the trade room. What I'm doing here is just I'm a little more basic in here. And all this stuff you get discounts to. The Bookmap, the bundle, MBO bundle you don't, but you do for the Bookmap if you can Global Plus. Here's Apex. Right, so this is what we were talking about. I have an Apex account assigned to every strategy. I do that because I want to have these individual, and I don't want to lose my own money anymore when I'm on webinars and forget to take stops out and stuff like that. I go over this every week, but you already saw me do it today. I forgot to take those gold stops out, so on and so forth. So I assign Apex accounts to each one of these. This is the best one that I've seen. This is the one I put my name behind. They do everything that they say they're going to do. What the hell is that? Oh, that was a stop on the chart. But so I use 150 for these. Again, guys, and use this code. This gives you 80% off. I hate how this thing scrolls. But you need to you need to hit the profit goal before you lose the threshold. So you can practice with these and you have some skin in the game so it doesn't feel like complete sim. Right? And if you do well, then you're back. Then you don't have to trade your own money anyway. So it's a no-brainer to me. I highly recommend it if you're trying to learn a strategy, or even this time. This is a perfect time where you say, you know what, I'm not risking my own money in this shit trade. Pardon my language. I'm going to open up an Apex account and I'll screw around with those. I have no problem losing. It's $60 with the discount right now. I'll lose $60 on an account, which is you're losing $5,000 on the account, but you're only losing $60 if you blow out of it. That's what I'm saying. Perfect time to be using this, so you're not blowing your own money. And this trade, it is just horrendous. Here we go. By the way, I'm going to go long bark and lick here before we get off here. And here's my entry right now. So I could put on, what is it? Where is it at? 9. So we got the ATR. We got the retest. Hold on, yes. Bark and lick. All right. That comes back. I don't like it's moving away from here, and people are always like, why don't you put it on now? You're getting a better price. Because I feel like if this just touches this and moves away, I feel like I got away with something. So anyway, 32 is the entry price. If it comes back, I'll put on bark and lick. We've been talking about this the whole time, and I was waiting, and it did exactly what it does almost every time. ATR or retest. There's your confirm. I just got filled. I'm long bark and lick. Yes. Some targets that I'm looking at. As the market makes money available to me, I will get out of some at these areas. So this could be a pick trade too. I'm going to put on a pick too because it's starting to get in there right now. Let me put that on as well. And guys, this is also a terrible time. I don't know why I'm even trading right now. I always tell you guys don't trade at this time of day. But I'll do it for the webinar, and so I have something to bitch about later on the PM webinar. Anyway, I put on pick, bark, and lick. For me, there's really nothing here except for I'll get out of these at red lug. Other than that, I'm going to hold it. This comes back. I stop out at 52.21. So I'm forcing this market to come all the way back. Do you see how bad this trade is, right? So this would not, just like crude. If this does this or this for 3 hours, it's not going to surprise me one bit. I elected to put the trade on. You can say no thanks for the time, 10:30 Central, no thanks for this market environment. I'm especially at this time of day, right? But the trade's on, stops at 52.21, bark, lick, pick. All right, guys, that's it. I do this again every day in my trade room. This is what I do. Let's see if we got any quick questions. Best edge I've ever seen. So, in futures trading, the SI indicator and the way we trade them. So, that is it. Enter GC in prior zone. Yeah, well, again, it's traded back up and through it, guys. We talked about this before. This is traded down through it, up through it. These are, I wouldn't even pay attention to these zones anymore as far as entry. We talk about not entering in zone. I got this Izzy short in this zone. So Jim Thomas has got to be part of my trade room. I just don't know who he is on the thing. All right, guys. That's it. I will see you next Thursday. Thanks for watching.